Can I welcome everyone to this meeting of the Great British Rhythm and Blues Festival Advisory Committee. It's Monday, 12th of February. Have we got any apologies, please? Any others? No? No. Are we okay? Thank you. We'll accept those. Any declaration of interest that's on the agenda tonight? No? Right, we'll move on to the minutes. So you'll have the minutes of the meeting on Monday, the 7th of August, 2023. It is a long time ago, so I don't think there's anything on these minutes that we need to, there's any update on. So can we?
That's all right. You've got an agenda twice.
All right. Right, so are we happy to accept them?
That's fine.
As they were? Thank you very much.
Should it send back? Can you help?
Right. Feedback for the 2023 festival.
Because it was so long ago, the festival, we've got the highlights video, which we can all watch, and I'm sure Simon will enjoy watching it again. So we'll watch that and then we can discuss the feedback.
Okay.
Great British Rhythm and Blues Festival. We've enjoyed 3 stunning days packed with incredible live music in our 2 main venues, Pendle Hippodrome, the Exchange Project Stage. The 32nd Great British R&B Festival got underway on Friday evening with over 30 artists, I think it was 33, performing across the weekend, featuring the very best of blues music in the UK right now, as well as some really influential and up-and-coming artists. We've been really proud to welcome some awesome headliners this year. Els Bailey, Hazel Lister, these finals. We're also the industry's most exciting talent in Cole, including Toby Lee, from Selby, Alice Armstrong, Don Martin, many more. Once again, people have turned out in their thousands for the festival, which also included the official Fringe, over 130 performances in 14 official Fringe venues this year. We were really proud to showcase an outstanding range of blues and rock artists from all over the UK. We also encourage visitors to come to shop local, handing out over 100 posters to local businesses, which they've all proudly displayed in their shop windows throughout the event.
We've had 3 wonderful days of blues and we're all absolutely shattered. We're still going strong, and it's the most wonderful festival, and I'm so proud of Colne and the Colne Blues Society and Colne Town Council working together and pulling off this wonderful festival. We'd obviously like to thank all the sponsors. We'd like to thank all the venues, the Hippodrome, the Exchange Project, and all the Fringe events that are helping to make this festival as wonderful as it is.
What a fantastic weekend we've had here this year. It's been absolutely brilliant. I'm knocked out. Come and see us again next year. Tickets are on sale now. You can go online and buy them. We've already got some fabulous acts lined up. Don't miss it.
That's a really, you're a natural there, Simon. Yeah, you are. Not like me. Right. So, feedback.
We've not had any negative feedback in the office. It's all been positive about the variety of bands, the amount of people camping, the amount of Fringe venues, the street entertainment. We got a really good amount of good feedback for the festival weekend, which obviously it's a lot of that is down to Colne Blues Society. So thank you to them for their hard work as well. But we've not had anything negative in the office.
Good. Anybody's got anything to say? Yes, Nina?
From our point of view, we have had some constructive criticism, which we've discussed and hoping to act on regarding the Exchange Project at St John's. The fact that it was a dry stage, some people were disgruntled that they couldn't take alcohol in. There've been comments about it, the atmosphere in there being affected by the lack of a bar. So we've got things in place to make it a bit more interesting this year. We've had comments about the hall, it being the lighting being too abrasive, that's the wrong word, too bright, and the sound quality being affected by the echoiness. So we've got, Nathan's been looking at sound abatement equipment that we can put in that will both make it look more attractive and sound better. Lighting issue has been addressed, and we're working on, obviously it's St. John's, it's a Methodist church, there is no way that alcohol will be allowed into those premises, but working on making it a little bit more attractive as a venue.
Thank you. I had a few comments, but it was only, again, it was a light, and if there was somebody singing at the front, the others were just like a shadow, they couldn't actually see them. And they didn't like the rows of, they'd rather had more room or more standing room and to like dance in the front sort of thing. That's the only thing. But whenever we went in, there were quite a lot of people in, weren't there? Yeah. It is what it is, isn't it? Yes, Michael.
It is a church Methodist bar. It's a Methodist church,
Yeah.
but you could sell drinks in there, surely, if there were zero alcohol drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
why not?
no, it's alcohol. Well, sorry.
I'm from the Methodist Church, and alcohol of any sort is not allowed on the premises, whether it's alcohol free or not. It is not allowed because this actually says it's actually is alcohol.
Zero alcohol is alcohol.
Even though it says zero alcohol, there is alcohol in it. It's just
One of the things we're looking at
it's just that it's
is
right
we've
now.
been talking to the Temperance Bar, the Temperance drinks manufacturer in Rosendale, which is allowed because it's temperance, and that we're talking to them about doing something in there with them.
As obviously you'd have to speak with the superintendent at Reverend Ormerod and the lay pastor Crispin Edberg about it being allowed on. Sorry, through the.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Any other comments? I only had one. Well, no, I had a few, but it's only as they said, will the Muni be used this year? And I said, well, I don't think so. It's not. It's still been. It's been put back, and yeah. Okay. Can we go on to venue update then?
So you may have seen on social media that we've got 3 main stages this year. We've got Pendle Hippodrome back again. We've got the exchange project, which any issues raised, they have been addressed and they've been rectified way in advance next year. And we'll also see the return of the Little Theatre in 2024 as well. So we've got all the contracts back for all 3 of those venues. And we're working with the venues as well to make sure it's a success over the weekend.
I'm really excited about it, actually. I think it'll be wonderful. You know, this was a really only first time when we've been doing it on our own, isn't it, really? And I'm sure it'll be absolutely brilliant. You want to go on to marketing update?
So, on the Saturday of the festival last year, tickets went on sale at 10 AM that morning for this year's festival. So, due to the tickets going on sale, normally there was a break between September and December for marketing, whereas this time it carried on to keep pushing those ticket sales because obviously tickets went on sale a lot sooner than they ever have before. So Scott Dawson came up with an affordable package to cover those months, which worked quite well, really. And they are now in the we've sent the contracts over, they've signed the contract, and Scott Dawson will be on board again for 2024. With that being said, they've posted 44 times on Facebook and had 139,000 impressions, 39 posts on Twitter or X, and 39 on Instagram, with a reach just shy of 1,000 on each of those platforms. They have also done a little bit of graphic work for the festival, being named a finalist in the UK Blues Awards and the Lancashire Tourism Awards as well. So they've been doing bits in between where normally we are quite quiet. In regards to what's coming up over the next couple of months with marketing, we're looking at banners, we're looking at gateway signs, we're looking at posters, shop local signs, adverts, paid social media campaigns, press releases, all the usual stuff that we're looking at, and majority of it has been booked in as well. They're looking at doing more videos with the headliners for the festival, doing a bit of interviews with them to help with the promotion of who's playing, as well as videos for the campsite and the street entertainment and anything else that happens over the festival weekend. But from a marketing perspective, it's going quite well. They are currently undergoing a project of building a new website for the festival. So I don't know if you'd seen the website for the festival, but it was a little bit outdated, and there were new features that were available. So we're due to expect it beginning of March, but we've seen drafts and it's looking pretty impressive, really. They've also been announcing acts slowly on social media as well, which has been getting quite a good response. I think that's pretty much it from a marketing perspective.
Are there any questions on marketing? Any questions to Nathan or anyone? No? Okay. Yes.
The people looking at Instagram, etc. Are there any statistics on where they are from?
There will be. I don't have them, but there will be.
Just might be interesting to see what the reach is beyond, I don't know, East Lancashire.
I can ask them to look into that.
I know it's reached Scotland, but
I'd be interested in the age group of only because I think all blues festivals are trying to get younger people coming to the festivals.
I can ask that question and find out.
Should we go on to item 8 then, catering update?
So the catering tender has gone out. It has now actually finished the duration that it goes out for. It finished on Friday, and we've had a look at who's submitted a tender application. We had quite a few come in this year, more than we've had the past couple of years, and we had 5 catering pitches and an ice cream van pitch, and all 5 have gone, and the ice cream van pitch has gone. Looking at the catering pitches, it's bringing in about £7,500 worth of income, whereas previously it's only been about 5,000.
I hope the Thai van's still coming.
The Thai van have been successful.
Your fingers round together, and I'm sure it was 700.
So £7,500 worth of income this year from the catering units, whereas previously it's been about 4,500, 5,000. But the letters are sat on my desk and they'll be getting sent out tomorrow with a invoice for 50%. But we've got some good vendors booked on.
It's Ian wants to. Oh yeah, go on then. Howard, you first, and then Ian.
In the absence of councillor Mann,
Mhm.
I'm assuming because the law was changed at either the back end of last year or the beginning, no, it must have been part way through last year, that you can't serve takeaway food in
Plastic.
non-recyclable. Well, I think it's non-recyclable. So it can be a plastic pot, but it has to be
Reusable.
either reusable or it can be.
So it was
Recycle.
put in the tender document for the guidelines and the laws to be followed. All the traders that have been successful is traders that we know. They've traded at the smaller events like Christmas, Family Fun Day, and so on. But it has been put in there for them to be followed, and it will be checked on. But like I said, they are known traders to us.
No. Ian,
Thank you, Chair. Again, in the absence of Councillor Mann, are we going to implement a segregated three-stream waste management system this year? Because obviously it's one of the issues that we've noticed over the previous events.
So it's a conversation we've been having with Pendle Borough Council to one, look at the cost of it, because the waste management has shot up this year in comparison to previous years, but to see if it's possible for them to do it with the number of people in the crowds, because obviously they're having to collect 3 separate bins from each location, whereas normally it's just one. But they are still looking at it at the moment, but it is something we are hoping to do.
Thank you. And also, Chair, previously, I think the last year, a lot of the complaints I was hearing was to the prices that the food vendors were actually charging. A lot of people thought in some cases they were extremely extortionate. Is there ways of dealing with this?
It's not something that we can really do because obviously the tender goes out and they pay a set fee, and you'd probably be surprised at the fee that they have to put in to win that pitch. So we can't really be saying you have to reduce your price and charge this much, because obviously when they're paying over £1,000 for a pitch for the weekend, they've got to try and cover that cost plus all the additional costs. So it's not something that we could really do.
yeah. I'll bring Nina in.
I
and
would
then-
point out that there are several eating establishments in the town that serve food at a very reasonable cost.
Patricia.
Thank you, Chair. Once again, in the absence of Councillor Mann, because some of the events are going on during the daytime, and some of the vendors will be selling slushers. I'm hoping they're not going to be alcoholic slushers.
So from a licensing point of view, there'll be no outside bars other than those attached to premises. So like us, we can have an outdoor bar, but we won't be doing alcoholic slushers. We'll do cocktails instead. But none of the food vendors will be selling alcohol whatsoever.
Michael, you usually do some litter picking with Alice during the festival. Is there anything that you would like more?
Separate, a good idea. You go on, it's from about 8 o'clock in the evening. I just don't see how it will work with the crowds and whatever, the drink, making so
Yeah.
I just can't see it working. That's a good idea, and it's.
Yeah.
Could I ask, I mean, we did this last year, just people from out of town have different coloured bins for different types of waste.
Yeah.
Could we make sure that the coloured bins that are there, the segregation that does occur, is also clearly labelled, so that then we're not relying on people knowing that, for example, a brown bin is recyclable waste, a black bin is non-recyclable, just stickers or labels on them, so it's blindly obvious what's put what.
Yeah. I would.
It's the large ones. The orange containers. Yeah. Couple more of them would be happy.
Yeah, well, that's, but, yeah, Simon,
Just something else that's just occurred to me, Nathan. Do you think it might be? I mean, obviously, there's a huge aspect of public responsibility here. You know, people taking responsibility for their waste. Do you think it's worth introducing into the marketing or on the website or whatever something that reminds people of their responsibility in that regard? Please don't drop it on the street. Find a bin, put it in a bin. You know, that kind of thing.
Mm.
As far as I'm aware, we've not done anything like that before, and it's it's, you know, I think pushing people's personal responsibility button is
Yeah,
probably
I think it's called nudging,
a
isn't
good-
it?
yeah, nudging, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Howard?
I was just going to make a similar point to say in the guidebook, in the
Festival brochure.
festival brochure, we put in just what Simon said. Don't chuck it on the floor, chuck it in.
In the brochure, you could actually, as our colleagues said there, the colour of the bins for the type of, you know, the type of the waste, which is what you were saying. Yeah, it makes it so that when they've got the brochure, they know where the plastic and that thing goes.
Michael, did you want to come in on anything? No?
Also, the exemption, suggestion made to the area in sometimes people dolphin bins with that shape for things in cans for recycling. Somebody was saying, well, why couldn't we have something similar in common? Yeah, after that, but that's something that that is in the right of our own shape on it. So just to try and encourage that recycling for the year, we have separate bins clearly for the thing. Some suggestion.
Nina?
I know this has come up with the cone bid previously, and is something that the cone bid are looking into, something that's sculptural and utilitarian at the same time.
Yeah, you want to put the violin on.
Yeah, Wallace Hartley and the whole shebang. Is it possible to put recycling markers on the map as well as is there enough space on the map to highlight where recycling can be?
We can do. It might not be 100% accurate because Pendle will tend to put them wherever they can.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep an eye on that, shall we? On the recycling and waste things.
Also, let's go bring up. Get other ones. There it's on the bin bags down the road.
Yeah. Well, there's two things, isn't there really? Someone was telling to me they've been to Glastonbury and they said they have these massive bins where you can fit loads of stuff in. But it's just everything goes in there. So it's not having it on the floor. And then after that, you're looking at separating it out. But they were saying, you know, this great big, like a massive thing that people could just chuck stuff in but I mean, it might mean you have to sort it out more than once, and that might just not be, just to get it off the floor really, isn't it, to get it somewhere. But anyway, we'll come back to that. Item 9, artist update. It's exciting.
Well, I'm very pleased to say that other than dotting a couple of I's and crossing a couple of T's,
Touch wood.
yes, touch wood, yeah, things can always go wrong. Yeah, the main stages are done, basically. A couple of contracts still to come back, but they are completely programmed. Tom Atter has come on board to curate the Little Theatre, or partly curate the Little Theatre. I spoke to him last week and he has 2 acts yet to program, and then that will be finished. It may well be finished by now. We have an outstanding festival headliner this year, which I'm hoping will be a big draw. also, as far as the official fringe is concerned, we will have 15. I think we got it to 15 official fringe stages this year, and we're already well on the way to programming those. So yeah, good progress has been made, and touch wood, if nothing goes wrong, we'll be able to fully market the lineup probably end of February, March time.
Excellent. Any questions for Simon? No? Okay. Okay. Are they all British?
Technically, yes. We do have one that resides
Elsewhere.
in the USA, but he's actually British.
Right, right. Okay. Thank you. Item 10, tickets, Nathan.
I've just realised I've left the document on the printer downstairs, so I'm just gonna pull it up on my phone. It won't be a second. So, so far with ticket sales, we've sold 143 tickets, and we've sold 32 camping pictures so far. I don't think we're there yet where we had tickets on sale last year, so we're still ahead. And I think once the we're getting more of the acts out there and the full lineups out there, I think we'll see a big increase in ticket sales. And now the marketing started fully, I think we'll see an increase as well. But I think that's pretty good going to say we didn't have them on sale this time last year.
Good. Can I just remind everybody to vote for the Great British Rhythm and Blues Festival on the blues, what it is, British UK Blues Awards. Yeah, I've voted already. Would push that. Yeah.
Scott Dawson have put it on social media twice so far, so they are on with it.
Good.
Looking at getting those votes in. Yeah.
Chair, can I just say commiserations to Colne Blues Society and Colne Town Council for not winning
Oh,
the
no.
Lancashire
Yeah.
small events. We were done. We were hard done by.
Yeah. Item 11, volunteer update.
So we've done the rota, or that's what we call it downstairs, of volunteer tasks over the weekend. We've made a couple of amendments, such as not having merchandise stalls from 10 AM, having them from 2 PM to actually give the staff time to get them set up, because that's an issue we've had past 2 years. So the rota's been done, which will be sent out to volunteers tomorrow. But it'd be great if everyone on the committee could volunteer and help out over the weekend, whether it's litter picking, whether it's in the box office, merch stall, anything like that. Probably the merch stalls or the litter picking are the biggest ones that we need them for.
Well, I'll volunteer. I'm not going to volunteer for litter picking, obviously, because of me, but I will volunteer for either the office or the mayor.
Brilliant, thank you.
Yes, Ian.
Thank you, Chair. I think an important one, especially for the elected members, is doing roving patrols, is actually going out there with a high-vis jacket on so that you're visible to the people. And I did this last year, and the amount of the usual question actually was, where's the toilets? But people found it reassuring, so I think that's important for all members of the council to get out there and volunteer your time and effort. Fly the flag for Colne.
And if you are doing that, grab an handful of programmes and distribute them whilst you're doing it, please.
Has everybody that's going to volunteer, have you all got on the buckets?
And a bucket.
Have you all got high-vis jackets on that say Colne Town Council? Huh?
We have got some more downstairs.
Yeah, so if you need right, okay. Official fringe venue update.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't actually see that was a separate agenda item. I've kind of covered it.
Yeah.
So to date, 15 official
15.
fringe venues, and we're about halfway through the programming. Yeah, one thing I might add is we've had a very, very encouraging response from the fringe venues this year in terms of what we expect of them, what we're asking them to pay the artists, and also what we're asking them to contribute to the festival.
Oh, good.
It's encouraging to see, because I know in past years some of the pubs have come in for a bit of flack
Yeah.
for kind of freeloading on the back of the festival.
Yeah.
I think those days are over. I
Good.
think they realise that they have to be an integral part of a community event, you know.
Good. That's really good to hear. Operational elements of the festival, Nathan.
So we've done quite a lot past couple of weeks for the festival. So the road closure's gone into Pendlebury Council. We've made a couple of amendments to the traffic management plan, more regarding towards issues with taxis at the bottom end of town. But those amendments have been made and the application's gone in. Security's been booked for this year's festival. We've got additional security on than last year, so we've got more security roaming because we're expecting not to have as many police. And then the main stages in the town hall also have security on. The first aid provision for the event has been booked. We negotiated with the provider and got it at the same price as last year, which was always good. Waste management,
You still
the cost of the waste management has gone up a lot. You're probably talking about nearly 40% increase. So we have negotiated with the Borough Council and so far got it down to £7,500 for the weekend. But that's been booked and it's in place.
what's it normally before?
It used to be 4,000, 4,500.
So it's gone up, even with you saying I can't afford whatever you want.
Because they did say they'd do it for more, and then when we said we can't afford it, it's not in the budget, we then negotiated and brought it down. Toilets have been booked. We've got a couple of additional toilets this year throughout the event area. The fencing for the toilets has been booked as well. We've gone for the same company to do the toilets, to do the fencing. So they'll install it as well, which will be a lot easier for the staff. Street entertainment, we've now got a good variety of street entertainment booked in. So we've got the return of the Mirror Men, which went down brilliantly last year. The Mirror Men. The Blues Brothers Stilt Walkers, the Robots, Impressionist, Fire Breathers, just a good variety. Face painting, Punch and Judy for the kids. The Hop On, Hop Off bus has been booked again for this year, doing the same times as last year on the Friday, Saturday and Sunday, running until about 9 PM each night, which it did quite well with the donations last year. The merchandise has been priced up, and once the lineup's finalised, they'll be getting sent off for printing. The design of the pin badge has started, so we're looking at a saxophone pin badge this year. It'll be bigger than the one last year because I know that one was a little bit small. We're also looking at other bits of merchandise that we can sell to bring in a little bit extra money.
You can sell Dave O'Connor's jewellery.
There'll be merchandise stalls at the main stage, so Pendle Hippodrome will be selling merch. The Little Theatre have agreed to sell merch for us, and we'll have an outdoor merch stall at St John's. We've also been working with St John's because previously they've had the stage outside, but they've just not had the funds or the team behind it to be able to programme the stage. So they have agreed this year not to do the stage. They're not doing a full market this year. They'll just have a couple of stalls, but we are working on something else for outside, which will come in the next point. But from an operational element, a lot of the operational bits for the festival's been booked. And we're just working to get it under budget again this year.
Can I ask about the toilets? Where are they all sited? Because I know we spend a lot on toilets, but everybody I see tries to get in pubs and, you know, and everywhere. And I mean, when the Muni was up, there were loads going there. They knew they weren't going to be going. They just wanted to use the toilets, a lot of the women. So are they used quite well? I have no idea.
From last year when we was roaming the event area, they do get used. Not as much as you'd probably like.
Yeah.
But we have 7 down at Queen Street car park to accommodate the bottom end of town, 2 outside the Muni to accommodate the middle end of town, which, whilst I remember, we are looking at doing a market this year. Looking at getting a company in to do a market, and then we'll take a percentage of stall fees. We normally have 2 outside the town hall, but we've gone for 4 this year because we have an issue with the toilet downstairs. It's disabled, and you get a queue of women. It gets chaotic. And then there's normally 2 on Newmarket Street for those venues down there.
Okay, I just wondered whether we had any stats of how well they're used or not, but it's difficult, isn't it, to get that? Yes, Simon.
Nathan, I just wanted to ask about Portaloos at the west end of town. I know you said you've got 7 on the Queen Street car park. Is that the same as last year, or are there more?
There's 1 more.
There's 1 more, right? I had a couple of comments that there weren't enough. There wasn't enough toilet provision at the west end of town. I mean, we know it always gets really crowded down there.
The problem we've got with the Queen Street car park is, especially last year, cars ignore the notices that the car park's being closed, and you end up with four cars on there that you lose half the car parks and you lose space. But I drove past the other day and those cars have now been removed. So fingers crossed this year we'll have the full car park and we can look at adding in more toilets. Like I did say, the company that's providing the toilets that I've done for the past couple of years are also doing the fencing this year. So once the fencing's been installed, if we can do the full car park, we can then look at adding additional toilets in.
Yes, Ian?
Thank you, Chair. One problem on road closures I noticed last year was at the top end of Colne, instead of putting barriers across, they just put 2 road cones in the middle of the road, which obviously was thought as adequate because it's a one-way system. It failed because people were just literally going up the middle of the road because it's closed off, walking between the cones and continuing to walk down the middle of the road, and which was causing a problem because having to try to avoid them. Is it possible to actually have physical barriers so that channels the pedestrians onto the footways? As I said, otherwise they just carry on walking. They just seem to be oblivious to the fact there's cars coming down the corner and they just keep on walking down the middle of the road because there's nothing to physically stop them. And the other one is Colne Lane down by the side of Funky Gifts where the car park is. They'd put the barriers below the entrance to the car park, which was great, except that people wanted to use the car park because it wasn't affecting the main road. We're removing the barriers and then just not putting them back. So it was leaving it was just leaving that road open. Could the barriers be put above the entrance to the car park? It leaves the car park open, but stops them from accessing the main road.
So first point about Colnes, is this at the junction where Alphonse is? I'll get that raised with the traffic management company.
Yeah.
In regards to the second half of the one-way system, so we've had a site visit with the traffic management team. So this year there'll be barriers all the way across for the junction marketplace. So you can come around the one-way system, but you're not going to get any further than just past the market. So you can go back up into the town centre and on your way. And then, so that'll be fenced off there with the barriers, and then all the side streets past that will also be barriered off so people can't drive into the road closure area, and then a barrier at the top of Walton Lane so that vehicles can't use side streets and sneak around, and there'll be stewards on that road closure again.
So that means that they won't be able to use the car park behind Funky Gifts.
No,
So that's completely closed off.
yeah.
That's okay. Thank you.
Any other questions on it? Item 14, Town Hall Bar.
So this year we'll be we've signed up to be an official fringe venue again. So the town hall function room will be getting used for bands, and we'll be having a bar downstairs because we are a licensed premises. But we'll also be having an outdoor bar outside of the town hall, which worked quite well last year. It brought in additional income. But what we're doing this year with St John's not having their stage is we're going to have live music outside. So we've technically got two fringe venues. We'll have bands on in the town hall, and then we'll have solos/duos on next to the outdoor bar to hopefully bring the people to the bar to spend money and whatnot. We tested it last year when there was a band on in the town hall. We had a speaker outside, and there was no, you didn't have the music overlapping from the two venues, which then gave us the idea to actually make it live music. So we'll be doing that for the festival this year. And obviously we'll have the box office and merch shop inside the town hall as well.
There'll be decent solo artists, so they won't be rubbish.
They'll be brilliant.
Well, if you were doing it, that's fine. I thought, I thought it might be just some.
No, Colne Blue Society have agreed to programme both indoor and outdoor.
That's fine. Yeah. You didn't say that. You just said we're going to have a.
I said we'd signed up to be an official fringe venue.
Well, yeah, and I didn't join the dots. The next is update from Colne Blues Society.
Yeah, sorry, we've got some agenda item overlap again. One thing that I haven't mentioned so far about the official fringe venues is we have another new venue this year in the Fun House, which was formerly Ernie's, but he's now under new and hopefully much improved management. And that looks as if it's going to be a pretty good venue with an emphasis on being family friendly, which is can only be a good thing. Certainly from the marketing point of view of the festival, something else for the kids to do, because of course they've got all kinds of facilities there, as well as there being what looks like being quite a big stage. There is something else that the venue is trying to put in place for the bank holiday Monday, when the festival proper is finished, is some kind of battle of the bands event involving young bands from around the area, which hopefully, possibly, they'll be able to get people like Nelson and Colne College involved in. We're sort of taking a back seat on that. We've kind of given them the information that they need to do it. Hopefully they'll get it off the ground, because that could be quite promising as well. But obviously we'll have more updates on that as we progress. I don't think there's anything else that I haven't mentioned. There is one long-standing fringe venue that won't be with us this year, which is the Union Exchange. Their new management thinks they can make a better job of it themselves. This is a personal opinion, but I'll voice it.
No, you won't.
All right, I won't voice it. Okay. Well, I'm very aware that we're in a public forum. Venues are either with us or they're not. We found that the ones that are with us are very much on board, and the ones that aren't, they want to do their own thing, which is fine. But it's not really part of the community spirit of the festival. I'll leave it at that, but that's.
Can I ask a couple of? Go on, then you asked you.
Thank you, Chair. Sort of, I suppose, in defence of that, a few of the comments I did hear last year was that it was great for venues up to and including the Red Lion because of the fair, and that's as far as most people got. The people who used the Blood Bucket, I mean the Union, were locals. that was it. And I think there's always been that issue, especially like the union commercial things like that, is that they're not getting the footfall from the Blues visitors.
This is an ongoing issue. It gets mentioned every year. We hear the complaint, the top end of town always loses out. Well, the commercial has never been involved. The Union Exchange has pulled out. The Red Lion has never been involved. We put a big fairground on the Red Lion car park. I don't really see what else we can do. Again, I have to come back to what I've just said. They're either in it or they're not. If they choose not to be, they can hardly complain about the fact that they don't get any footfall. That's my honest opinion on the
Well,
subject.
and there should be a
Yeah.
lot more up there because the fun house is, there should be a lot more families up there with them. Can I ask, is it upstairs where the skating is? Or
No.
Is it in the where the Christmas market?
It'll be,
was?
yes,
Yeah.
that big
that
area
big,
where they do,
yeah.
where they did the car boots and things like that. They're going to have a big stage in there.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. There was one. Oh, I know what I was going to ask. You were last year. You talked about looking at like applying to like the Arts Council and all these things for like grants and what have you.
Things like that, they're ongoing. Obviously, it's pretty much Nina and I that have to look into this kind of thing alongside everything else. The ones it's a minefield. The ones that look remotely promising, we've usually found we've missed deadlines on. We're learning as we go. You know, it's still something that we need to look into, and hopefully we'll have some better leads in time for the 2025.
Because they get loads of money. All their stuff's done through grants.
Oh yeah,
You know.
yeah. It's we've taken lots of advice on it, and you know, I think as time goes on, we'll be in a better position to make those applications.
Yeah.
They're time consuming, they're complicated.
Yeah.
You've got to have the right angle, otherwise you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
So when we do it, we need to make sure that we do it properly.
Yeah.
But it is ongoing. It's
Yeah.
not something that we're gonna leave behind, you know, because I think it's necessary, especially if the festival is to grow in stature.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I know it's difficult. It's only that I'm being bold with another organisation, and suddenly we've got a trustee whose job used to do this, and it's amazing. He's, you know, I've never heard of half of these things. Alan, somebody's thing, and you know, so it's you know, if you can get somebody who's good at doing these things, they do seem to be able to know where to look. But it's good that you've got that as a long-term ambition.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Anissa from Colbid actually has been very helpful because she has to do that kind of thing all the time.
She does, yeah.
She's pointed us in quite a few good directions.
Yeah.
So yes, ongoing.
Yeah, because he's Eric Wright, isn't he? He's for young people in the northwest of England. He gives quite a lot of money. But anyway, right. Items for future agenda. No, I think, are we okay? Date and time of next meeting?
To be confirmed.
All right. Yeah. Any other issues before we close the meeting? No? All right. Well, thank you for attending, and thank you for Nina and Simon.